Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Board of Education meeting. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. Please stand and join us in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of for all. The mission of the White Plains City School District is to educate and inspire all students while nurturing their dreams so they learn continually, think critically, pursue their aspirations, and contribute to a diverse and dynamic world.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to ask that you join me in a moment of silent reflection as we remember Carol D'Iranio, substitute nurse for the White Plains City School District for 25 years. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll go into any announcements from any board member.
You just met.
Last week, I know, but I gotta ask. No, nothing? Okay. Thank you. And next, we'll go to the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, President Eller. This is a very exciting evening, and almost the entirety of the superintendent's report this evening is dedicated to our colleagues who will be receiving their appointment of tenure. And what I would like to do right now is welcome Mr. Pepper and thank Scott and the team in the Human Resources Department for getting us to right now. Scott, all set.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's so nice to see everyone here. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, I'll use my teacher voice. It's been a while, but I'll try to use that. So it's so wonderful to see all of you here this evening. We have our honored guests, our teachers who are being recommended for tenure. A lot of our colleagues are here, friends, family, and it's just so nice to see tremendous support for these 25 outstanding educators. So I want to, this is an incredible milestone for these individuals. And as we all know, tenure is really, it's a lifetime commitment on the board of point of the Board of Ed. Superintendent of schools are offering really a lifetime contract to these individuals. They've earned it through the work they've been doing, but it's really it's a tremendous affirmation and recognition of the educators who throughout their probationary period have excelled in both the art and the science of teaching. They've demonstrated the ability to connect with students and inspire them through engaging lessons and the use of evidence-based instructional practices. As stated in the mission, they have educated and inspired their students. They have nurtured their dreams, so they learn continually, think critically, and pursue aspirations so they can contribute to a diverse and dynamic world. At the conclusion of their probationary period, which is either 3 or 4 years, teachers are required to create and present a digital tenure portfolio to building administrators, central office administrators, and the HR department. Subject coordinators also participate in this process. It's an opportunity for the teachers to highlight their management in the classroom, their creativity, their organizational skills, their effectiveness as educators, and to demonstrate their growth during their probationary period. These tenure portfolio presentations, which typically last about 30 to 40 minutes, they're always a highlight of the school year. And we love viewing them, and we often come away from those presentations wishing that we were students in the very classrooms that these teachers are teaching. But we always recognize how fortunate our children are to be with such gifted educators. So to provide you with a small glimpse of the impact these educators have had on our students, on their parents, and on their colleagues, we prepared a PowerPoint presentation this evening. It's a short PowerPoint. It takes about 4 minutes to go through, but I'm going to do that now. I thought that Ashley Tomaselli, probably she really captured, in my opinion, what it's all about. And I'll let you read that, but you can see there's a lot of wonderful thought there, and it really does, better than I can communicate, describe what it takes to be an effective teacher. We also have a student who has also provided their perspective. I just want to let you know this was not what somebody wrote about Ashley, by the way. Ashley's an incredible educator. The person who this belongs to probably knows who it is, and I don't think it diminishes their effectiveness as a teacher, but I just thought that was a wonderful quote as well. Takes a lot of honesty and candor. Okay, and here we go. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of a snapshot. You know, it's really it's a hard job being a teacher. And you know, I watch this slide. Every time I watch this slideshow, I get a little emotional. And you know, it's funny. My wife is a teacher, and I showed it to her the other night, just saying, "Hey, what do you think?" And it's very touching. So I hope you enjoyed it. I want to congratulate our 25 staff members who are being recommended for tenure. It's not official to the Board of Ed votes. You have my early congratulations. But thank you on behalf of the students, your colleagues, and the whole community, because you really are benefiting the entire community with the work that you do. So thank you so much. We're very grateful. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, Mr. Pepper. Thanks to Ms. Cangro and everybody in Human Resources. And again, congratulations to all of our colleagues. Tenure's a funny thing, right? It's pretty unique in that you achieve it relatively, or at least technically, relatively early on in your professional career, maybe. Some folks will achieve it multiple times over the course of their professional career. But it's necessary. Because sometimes, believe it or not, education can be dangerous. What do I mean by that? Nothing scary, really. But as educators, they're part of a profession where we're in an open system. And in an open system, there are a lot of influences that push and pull. And all of those influences are coming from places where folks believe that their ideas are the right ideas. And they may be. But for us, our job is to show all ideas, all possible ways, and then to explore ways of thought that maybe even haven't been broached yet. That is a big job. And for our colleagues who tonight are being recognized, it's really the beginning, it's the commencement of those steps in the profession in many ways. But it's also a milestone that really you should be so proud of. And for the loved ones who are here with us this evening, I hope that you feel the same level of pride that we all do, and certainly I do. Because in the role as superintendent of schools this evening, my name is forever attached to our colleagues who are receiving tenure. And I'm really proud of that, because having the opportunity to watch them develop and grow and continue to make decisions based upon what are going to be in the best interests of our children, that is really awe-inspiring to me. And so this is like one of the best meetings of the year, really, because we do come together as a family to celebrate these amazing professionals, and also to celebrate the beginning, because tonight is just kind of the first stop on what's going to be a very, very long and successful career of serving the community and also all of our children. I need to ask you to bear with me a little bit, and we need a little courage maybe, especially at the beginning. I'm going to ask all of our colleagues to stand. I'm going to read your name and your school. Shira Schwartz, district-wide, school psychology. Gary Cassidy, district-wide music. And Abigail Stoles Monk, district-wide ESOL. Congratulations, everybody. Now, it is true that nothing happens until the Board of Education votes. But I have it on pretty good account and authority that we're going to be all right this evening. Congratulations, everybody. And Madam President, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Ricca. And we will vote on tenure during the consent agenda. But just wanted to say, to just say a few words. of thanks and gratitude and joy because we've chosen you and you've chosen us. And what this meeting today demonstrates is that we're a match. So congratulations on earning tenure. Thank you for educating and nourishing our students, but thank you for taking care of our future. And I want to let that sit for a minute. Thank you for taking care of our future because who we educate, who we support today represents our future. And to some one of our students, you will be their absolute favorite person. And I think that in life, that is the best gift of all. We recognize and applaud your skills and passion for education. Throughout the year, we've witnessed you in action and we've heard about your impact. Throughout the year, we've had the privilege of awarding tenure to well-deserving colleagues, with the culmination being tonight. Some of you we may know personally, but we thank you all deeply. Thank you.
I'm back with just a couple of quick announcements. Just a reminder, the Girls on the Run, they're practicing tomorrow, but they will also be participating in a glow run on the 31st at Manhattanville, 7 p.m. Right. Perfect. Thank you. I also want to once again just extend a huge heartfelt thanks to the White Plains PTA and the WPTA for supporting the free book fair over the weekend at Eastview. Thousands and thousands of books put into the hands of our children and their families, and thank you very much for all of that support for everybody who came out as well. Also want to remind everybody, not that you need a reminder, but I will, tomorrow, May 21st is the annual Budget and Board of Education election. Polls open at 12 p.m. here, and they close at 9 p.m. The district website is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the proposed budget, which is the lowest in the county, and also to find your designated polling places. I know there was some concern that was expressed about the community room not being available in North White Plains, and just Battle Hill, right? I'm sorry. And so, just so that everybody's aware, that wasn't a decision that was made by the Board of Education. That community room is no longer available to us to use. It's a private residence, and so looking at the map and looking for the next closest place, Rochambeau was determined to be the next closest polling place. But I want to thank certainly the folks at the community room for allowing us to use it for so many years. And also just wanted to make that clarification. But for anybody who has questions about their polling place, you can enter your address in on the website, and it'll tell you exactly where you're going to vote. And again, 12 to 9 p.m. tomorrow, and hopefully everybody participates in that process. It is so important. And then, of course, we have the Memorial Day holiday, which is a little bit longer because we didn't use those snow days. Big smiles, right? And so this school district will be closed on Friday as well as Tuesday. Hopefully everybody enjoys that time. Hopefully it doesn't rain, and you get a chance to enjoy time with friends and loved ones. And also, if you're in the area, there is, of course, the White Plains Memorial Day Parade as well, 10 o'clock on Monday, 10 to 11 o'clock on Monday.
Thank you. I know a couple of colleagues.
Yeah. So, Dr. Ricka, I just wanted to ask if you could address a couple of concerns. There have been a lot of questions, concerns, rumors, chit-chat online, and then again in this morning's newspaper. And I've had some community members come and personally ask me questions, and I think it would probably be much more appropriate for Dr. Ricka to address the questions while we're all here tonight. So the first question is, what's being done to change the health curriculum in the lower grades? And the second question was the one on the front page of LOHUD today about LGBTQ, mainly bathrooms and locker rooms.
Yeah, well, thank you for those questions. I saw some news reports from around the country on Friday and Saturday related to curricula, and I thought to myself, oh, this may be something that we are talking about in New York here. In terms of changes to our curriculum and our curriculum approaches, this is not something that we have major changes that are going to be coming forward. And just as a reminder to anybody who may be interested, any proposed changes to the curriculum go through a feedback loop, a process of review, including the curriculum and instruction subcommittee of the Board of Education prior to any changes being made. But one of the things I think that we've done in White Plains is we've really aligned our curricular expectations to the state standards. And the state standards for health, wellness, physical education are really created in such a way that they're age-appropriate guidelines. They really haven't changed all that much at the standards level, Ms. Lovich. So some of the things that are of concern, which I've also heard, related to age appropriateness of talking about concepts related to family life. They still occur when they have occurred in sort of time infinitum, and they really haven't changed in White Plains, and that's because we've sort of stuck to what has worked for us. But also there's a caveat there for parents and guardians and any community member who's interested. That topic in that area is also one that parents and guardians can choose whether or not their children are going to participate in those conversations. So all that information is available and out there. But in terms of our curriculum, no major changes, all aligned to the state standards.
So-
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, so new books does not necessarily equal a complete overhaul of our curriculum?
Absolutely right. No. No. In many instances, actually, new textbooks are simply because it's time. After use, they've hit the end of their useful life and just need to get new textbooks. So again, and thanks for that question, because I think that is a question that's on folks' minds. What's changing with regard to health, wellness, physical education? Of course, there is a big focus on overall health and wellness with our students, not just exercise, but also eating a healthy, balanced diet, also engaging in learning about things like fiscal responsibility, how a checking account works, financial literacy. All those areas go into that family life consumer science pieces as well. With regard to today's article, that is an interesting news coverage because it's sort of been the law in New York for many, many, many years. In White Plains, again, we have and years and years ago made sure that our facilities were capable of being welcoming areas to anybody who need use them. We have a lot of really kind of single occupancy restroom facilities. And so while we do have boys' rooms, girls' rooms, we have single occupancy, we have no gender specific, again, single occupancy restrooms. But we've comported and with what the legal requirements are with the law against discrimination and so on. So I didn't even, in fairness, I didn't even read that article, but my guess was it was about the law.
Well, they didn't
Sure.
mention the law, they just mentioned what's out there.
Got it.
Right, but it is the law, right?
It is,
So
yeah.
it's the law,
is the law.
and it will always be the policy of the White Plains City School District to provide dignity and respect for every student and teacher, administrator, visitor to every building, right? And I'm going to go out on a limb here. We can't use dog whistles about bathrooms when our children's mental health hangs in the balance. And I'm offended. I'm offended by it, and we should all be offended by it. And queer rights are human rights, and it'll always be our policy. Okay? Just going to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I should also mention Anybody who has any questions, especially if somebody's watching this evening, they have any direct questions, want to talk about curriculum or anything like that, can always reach out. Be happy to chat about anything.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ricker. Before we get to our consent agenda, I know that a few of us just wanted to say a couple of things about tonight and the awarding of tenure. And
You said, I would just add, you said it really well, and I don't want to repeat anything, but as someone who has gotten tenure multiple times, as Dr. Rick has said, over his career, I just want to say congratulations and echo what our president said about making a choice to be here. We were very appreciative of that, and we are making a decision tonight to keep you here in terms of tenure, and I hope you appreciate that, and I hope you have a long, fulfilling career. We have the best kids in Westchester and a great school district in Westchester, so good luck. I hope to see you in a month when we award our 25-year employees and 30-year employees. I will not be anywhere near this table, but I hope to be watching from home. So, congratulations.
thank you.
Oh, me? Oh, I thought I just took up enough time, right? So I did just also want to echo what everyone has said. This is the greatest way I could ever think to wrap up my first year on the board, and I am overwhelmed and in awe of you all. As a parent of 2 middle school kids in the district, I get to see how one caring, compassionate, dedicated person can really make such an impact in a child's life. And 2 people are here today, and I get to vote on their tenure, who are those people in my kid's life. And I've got to meet their family, and that's amazing. And I look around, and then there's 23 more of you, and every day, for years, you've been doing that for countless families, and I am so grateful, and I hope you are so proud, and thank you for being part of White Plains. Thank you.
We're almost there. Next, will there be any public participation tonight? Thank you. Please, yes. Please stand and go to the mic. Your name and address, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Mazzara, 10 Gedney Circle. My husband and I are proud parents of 2 George Washington students. Our family benefits from the extensive special education services that White Plains offers, and we continue to have a very, very positive experience with special education and general education at GW. Personally, I would like to thank the entire board for your commitment to building an inclusive environment for my children, and I know many, many other children also. I am also very proud of our community's commitment to inclusion. I am not just referring to promoting an inclusive environment for our special needs students, but in particular, my general education student has also benefited greatly from his experience in an inclusive environment. I want to thank the current board members who serve on the Special Needs Committee and for being a presence within our community. As our special needs PTA representative, I would be remiss if I did not comment on Kara McCormick-Lyons' comments from last week's meeting. Thank you to Kara for speaking on behalf of special education teachers. Dr. Ricca's direct response after reminded us that there are many perspectives and details to consider and was a great platform for us as parents and a community to jump board additional conversations. As a special needs parent, there are no people I would rather thank more than those working directly with our students, particularly our special needs teachers, our general education partners, our therapists, our psychologists, our social workers, our support staff, and our administrators that believe in our special needs programming. I'm speaking for myself, but I know that there are many other parents who feel the same way. Thank you for our dedicated work with our students. Kara was very specific on what teachers' concerns are. I think this is a moment that we can capitalize on. Let's keep the conversation going. My hope is that we can continue to work collaboratively, and perhaps we can take last week's comments and weave them into conversations happening at all levels within our school district. If we have a student in need, or if we have a teacher in need, we have to rise to the occasion and problem solve. My hope for the board is to continue to promote the individual needs of our students while also continuing to consider our teachers' concerns. Thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. I'm shorter than you are. Good evening. My name is Amy Bloomstein. I live at 150 Beverly Road. I am a proud mother of a special education elementary school student, and I was the former White Plains Special Needs Committee co-chair. I am also an elementary school teacher in a neighboring town for over 20 years. I wanted to take a moment to thank the administration, the Board of Education, and the incredible faculty and staff at Ridgeway Elementary School for all of your support and efforts on behalf of my child and all special education students in the city of White Plains. Being a parent is an amazing and beautiful gift that comes with challenges, and being a parent of a special education student comes with added challenges. It is a journey that requires a great deal of perseverance and love, and one that I embrace and have found great success due to the support of the community I have created for my son within the White Plains school system. As you prepare for tomorrow's election and in the days and weeks to come, I urge anyone who serves on the board to continue to create robust and inclusive programs for all learners preschool through 12th grade so that our community can continue to be a place for all to succeed and thrive. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a parent of my name is Elaine Castelluccio. I'm here in the district. I have 2 twin boys in Eastview, and one of the twins is a 6th grader who has autism, ADHD, and fairly significant OCD. He has been receiving services since he entered kindergarten in this district and is now at Eastview in the ICOT class. Firstly, I wanted to thank the board and the White Plains School District for all the supports they have put in place and the huge efforts they have made to make our district a district where inclusivity is valued and is taught to all of our students. My son has struggled with challenges of his behaviors, mostly due to his anxieties, which has made learning difficult for him, especially early on in kindergarten and 1st grade. But the supports put in place in elementary school, extending through his transition to Eastview, have allowed him to grow both socially and academically. In the ICOT classroom, along with the implementation of a very robust IEP with support services all along the way, including psychology and social groups, they have assisted my son to have the interventions he needed to better manage his anxieties and become a better learner. Through the supports my son has received all of these years, he has been an honor roll every single semester at Eastview. And for the past several years, thank you. And for the past several years, he has scored in the top 5% in both his math and English state exams. In recent weeks, we have heard concerns about less emphasis on some high achievers within the district. Well, I'm here to say that my son is one of the high achievers in this district, thanks to all of the special needs support he has gotten from this district. More importantly, the peers that have been in my son's schools, from Ridgeway to Eastview, have treated him with kindness, acceptance, and understanding. And this I credit to the inclusive environment our school district has prided itself in. That Deb Argotten, her department, and all of the teachers and principals along the way that have touched my son and his twin brother, who's in Gen Ed, they've worked so hard to develop. I thank the board for their continued commitment and hope that whatever the result of tomorrow's election is, the commitment to our special education services, and the commitment to promote a truly inclusive school district will continue with the next iteration of the Board of Education. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Ricca, Board of Education members, and all those in attendance. My name is Corinne Elovich. I live at 582 Ridgeway, and I'm a parent of 3 children, 2 who are currently in the White Plains schools. With elections tomorrow, I thought it would be a good time for me to come and say a long overdue thank you to the board, as well as the district's administration and all of the teachers and staff who have worked tirelessly with my daughter over the last 7 years to provide a meaningful, inclusive education for her. Actually, some of who were tenured this evening, so nice to see all of you. You guys are my angels. You have changed her life in so many ways, and I mean that. Naomi is a 6th grader at Eastview, and she has Down syndrome. We moved to White Plains because we were looking for a district in Westchester where they would be open to inclusion for a child with Down syndrome, which is actually really, really hard to come by. Research shows that inclusion leads to better outcomes in speech and language and literacy for students with Down syndrome educated in an inclusive setting versus those that not. So my husband and I have always been committed to finding that setting for her. Naomi navigates the hallways of Eastview like a champ, sings in school concerts, participated in Eastview on Broadway, and is learning algebra and basic chemistry, just to name a few things. With the support of her entire team, teachers, support staff, and therapists, she continues to make significant progress every year and participates in school-wide events. Thank you to the board for the support of inclusion within our district. I am so grateful to be a part of a community that embraces the uniqueness of each individual. I appreciate everyone's dedication and tireless efforts to ensure that every student in White Plains has the opportunity to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Your commitment to fostering an inclusive district not only enriches the lives of individual students like Naomi, but enriches the lives of all students and creates a stronger community throughout the district. And again, thank you to the administration and thank you to the teachers and the support staff who work with all of our children every day. It's not always easy, but you do it with grace and kindness. I hope that whoever sits on this board after tomorrow's election continues to be champions for an inclusion and be advocates for our students and our staff. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rhoda Havis, and I work at GW as a self-contained special education teacher, and it is in that role that I stand here tonight. First, I need to offer my sincere congratulations to my colleagues receiving tenure. It's no small accomplishment these days for any teacher, and you all deserve this night to be honored. And as I stated, I teach one of the special classes at GW. I teach our youngest students who often have difficulty communicating in a way that we understand. But our team, mentioned before, the teachers, the TAs, the psychologists, the social workers, the SLPs, the related service providers, and the building administrators, they work incredibly hard to give our students the skills they need to succeed and to keep moving them along the continuum of growth. And we're successful. I don't have all the district data, but I did take some time to write down some of my own stats. I have 9 years as a self-contained teacher, 62 students, 46 boys, 16 girls, and 23 of those 62 have been moved from self-contained to a less restrictive environment. That's 37%. 12 of those 23 were moved less restrictive directly from my classroom, 19%. Two of those are no longer even classified. And only 2 students over 9 years have been moved to a more restrictive program. That's 3%. Those are not the numbers and not the work of a team that wants kids more restrictive or out of the district. That's the work of a team that simply wants the necessary support to continue giving kids the best opportunities. Our President Kara raised the non-comprehensive stack of physical incident reports at last week's meeting. We know that a lot of behaviors happen because some kids have a hard time expressing themselves. We know that that in itself doesn't mean they don't belong in a particular setting or program. We know that inclusion matters and makes a difference. But we also know that there are other children in those classes who don't have the words or way to communicate how they are being affected by what they see. How traumatic it may be to see furniture thrown or to see a teacher they love get hit, kicked, or bitten. How their day may be interrupted multiple times and the learning for that day be severely impacted. Over the 9 years in my position, I've often heard our assistant superintendent for PPS, You say we should always be thinking about how we remove the barriers to learning and provide access to all students. And I couldn't agree more. If the barrier is decoding, we let them listen to a book. If the barrier is calculations, let them use a calculator. If the barrier is writing, let them type. If the barrier is extreme behavior, get them more supports in the form of personnel, a crisis team, more enhanced staffers, and specific training for all the adults who work with them. Even for more ICOT classes, like we need these teachers. They're doing a phenomenal job, I must say. And to quote our president, Carrot, teachers' working conditions are our students' learning conditions, and that couldn't be more true. My colleagues and I want what is best for kids, and it's best for everyone if together we find the barriers and with creative thinking and strategic planning, continue removing them for all our kids. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for yielding the mic. My name is Karen McCormick-Lyons. I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate our colleagues. I want to give them a round of applause. This is your evening. And by no means does that diminish your remarks. Thank you for being here to laud and celebrate the awesome work of our colleagues. I want to clarify that those statements were not to sound an alarm, because I understand an alarm has been sounded about less inclusive environments. It's about more supports. And that is exactly why tenure is so important. We can advocate for what we need so that our kids can have what they need. So congratulations. Last week, I had the chance to accompany Dr. Ricca while he was honored for an Outstanding Collaboration Award. It's true, at Pace University, don't be surprised. And he had the opportunity to address a young group of educators. Am I telling the truth here?
You're telling the truth.
Okay. And he reminded them that he in his role as superintendent and my role as teacher and union president is to lift this profession and to lift our children together. You all have demonstrated that you are committed to this mission, so please celebrate, savor this moment. We can't wait to see the rest of your accomplishments. Have a great night.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Bellantoni. I live at 2 Hotel Drive in White Plains, and I am the proud parent of 4 children who attend White Plains schools. I wish I could tell you I was going to talk about something other than inclusion, but I'm not. Some of you know my kids. I have Luke in the 8th grade. He's coming up to high school next year, which I can't even say that without crying. I have Nick, who's in the 10th grade, and I have Michael and Jessica, who are in the 12th grade, which I really almost fall over when I say that. All of my kids are uniquely different, and all of my kids have different things that they need that this district has provided them with. Sometimes it's been hard. My daughter Jessica has Down syndrome. She's ready. She's going to be 19 this year. And there have been times in her history where she's been called a runner, a flight risk, a behavior kid. We've been there. It was suggested to me that she go elsewhere. And that was hard. That was hard to hear. And I'm standing here 15 years later telling you I've grown. I know some of you have been there. I've flipped tables. I've used bad language, but I've grown. And I have learned that as vulnerable as I've felt in that seat, all of you feel that way too sometimes. And that was probably the smartest thing I ever learned, to become a real team player at those CSC meetings. So I'm really glad you all didn't jump up and leave to go celebrate yet, because I'm glad you'll be here to hear me. I'm not here on any kind of political platform. In fact, quite frankly, I'm speaking to everyone on the board and anyone who might be sitting in one of those chairs, because I think you have an unbelievable job to do, and I think the people in front of us have an unbelievable job to do. But I think there's a really important thing that I want to share, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the right way to say what I wanted to say. And it's that my daughter's success, the flight risk, the runner, the behavior kid, couldn't get her out from under the table, started to throw things, throwing staplers. And then she performed in the ensemble in Mamma Mia. And then she came home performing pieces out of Shakespeare. And then she came home teaching me about Sikhism and other cultures that I'd never heard of because she's sitting in global history. And in a few weeks, she's going to walk across that stage with her brother, and she's going to have a cap and gown on. She's going to go to the senior prom. And none of that happens if we got scared, if we ran, if we put her someplace else. And you know what? Maybe something volatile might have happened. Maybe she might have hurt somebody. She didn't, thank goodness. And I know maybe a lot of people who know my daughter are thinking, well, you know, she's not a problem. She could have been a problem. She was a problem. I was told she was a problem, right? So I guess what I'm trying to share is that any student's success, my daughter's success, it's not one thing. It's not one person. And one of the things I think we'll all agree, I love it when people say to me, what district should I go to for good special ed? I don't know. It depends if you have Mrs. Jones or Mr. Johnson in the front of the, like, it's not one person. It's not one thing. So I wanted to share with you the things that have made my daughter's success. It's collaboration among that CSE team, a robust conversation, sometimes a difficult conversation, the right specialists at that table, a meaningful behavior plan if necessary, effective implementation of that behavior plan by people who understand it, by people who have been told what it actually means and how to collect the data and why it matters and how are you going to do that and teach a classroom of 22 people. Those are fair questions, right? Training and support for the personnel if it's necessary. And parent involvement, parents who are listening, do not sit back and keep your mouth shut. I mean, you don't have to be as loudmouth as me, but you've got to say something. The Pupil Personnel Services Department and the administration in this district rely on us to tell them when things are working and when they're not. And you know what? If we're kind of a little bit of the difficulty, they'll know. They've been doing this a long time. But still say something. Say something's not right. All of us, we're all vulnerable. We're all part of this team. And in 15 years, I've watched each one of those components fall short. It happens. But it's never one thing. It's never one thing. Sometimes it is lack of support. Sometimes it's someone not doing the implementation of the behavior plan. Sometimes it's someone who just really didn't know. And that's okay. That's part of the team. And so I just think it's short-sighted to think that any one thing, right, is going to fix life for any one of our kids. It's not going to happen that way. You know, I was told at one point, you know, we can put Jessica somewhere where there's more kids who look like her. I mean, that's a horrifying statement in the world we live in, right? We're talking about mental health. We're talking about people that are different. My daughter knows she's different. She'll tell you she actually went to the GSA meeting because she came home and she told me she went to the GSA meeting. And I said, oh, can you tell me about that? And she said, it's for people that are different and I'm different. That's what you're teaching her here. She went to a Black Lives Matter meeting and her teaching assistant told me she got up and spoke. This is what my daughter's getting in White Plains. And I thank you for it. And please don't stop doing it. And it's hard. You guys didn't become teachers because it's easy. And I just implore all of you to please look at the big picture. Don't look at just one thing. So thank you all. Congratulations to all of you and to all the graduates, I suppose.
Thank you all. Thank you all who spoke tonight. Next, we're going to go to our summary action items, and I think this is what.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Oh my goodness, I just have to say one thing. Just thanks to everybody who took the time to come out this evening and also speak. And I have to say, I always say White Plains is a very, very special place. And I believe it to be true. I believe it to be true because we all recognize that education is a process and that it looks different for everybody. And in White Plains, we truly do strive to give every single child whatever it might be, whatever they might need to be successful. And hearing from colleagues and hearing from parents about their journey and about the commitment to every individual child is something that makes me so proud and grateful, and I feel blessed to be part of it. And I can't, I have 7 bosses. Really, I have 65,000 bosses, but 7 bosses here, and I don't ever speak for them. But what I can say is that I know the spirit of White Plains, and it's been this way for a very, very long time, long before me, long before this sitting board, is the commitment to our community, the commitment to our children, the commitment to access, the commitment to equity, the commitment to doing whatever we need to do to support our children at wherever they are. And I can tell you without a doubt that this board is committed to that and will remain so. And so thank you. Thanks to everybody. And again, to our colleagues this evening, it's a testament, I think, to your work. And I know that the board will be committed and remain committed to these efforts moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will not talk any more tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ricker, for that. And thank you again to everyone who spoke tonight. Next, we're going to move on to our summary action items. We have summary action items 4 through 8. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Yeah, I'm going to talk one more time, but it's going to be to say thank you for very generous donations. I'd like to draw your attention to item 4A, and gratitude and thanks to the following donors: $3,500 from the Friends of the White Plains Public Schools to help defray the costs of students who participate in the Highlands Middle School 8th grade end of the year picnic at FDR Park in June. $5,000 donation from Peter Borrego for the James A. Borrego Scholarship Fund at the White Plains High School. A $3,000 donation from Mark Berrien for the Rita Art Scholarship this year. And thank you to everybody for your very generous donations.
Thank you, thank you. We have the best friends ever.
We sure do.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, everyone. Okay, next we'll move on to individual action items. We have the recommended acceptance of a memorandum of understanding between White Plains City School District and Fordham University. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and I think that's it. That's it. May I no committee report. Thank you, everyone, for attending. This is a special night. We thank and we congratulate all of our colleagues that were awarded tenure. Thank you for picking us, and we're as thankful to have picked you. Thank you to all family that came. Certainly remember this night and celebrate this night. Thank you, John Shepard and John the Savage, for really just hanging in there with our live stream and taping of this very important night. May I have a motion to close our meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations
Congratulations.
again.